Well, the outcome. If we view the outcome without talking about the process, I I am humble enough. I have enough in my storehouse of humility to acknowledge defeat, if indeed I lost, or if indeed I lost on a playing field that was level. So that is the outcome. The outcome, as you can see, is that the Labour Party came a very distant third. However, that outcome was it came as a result of a process that was thoroughly flawed, and actually Saturday, 21st of September, it was tragic. It was a tragic event that took place in Edo State because Seun, when you consider firstly that the level of voter apathy was so high. It is estimated that only about 20% of eligible voters came out to vote on that day in Edo State, a highly enlightened, highly sophisticated community. And then when you also see that the bazaar that took place, the vote buying bazaar that took place, so from the numbers from INEC, it would appear that 560 plus thousand votes were cast on that day. I'm not so sure I agree with those numbers, but we're still looking towards. But let us even assume that we're somewhere in the 500,000 region in terms of votes. Two things occurred, Sean. Firstly, I would say, and my people are crunching the numbers still, but we are saying that somewhere in the region of 300,000 of those votes were bought. That leaves you with another 200,000. And then you saw what happened in the collation centers, where there was quite a bit of in fact, it was a chaotic scene at some of the local government collation centers. And at the state collation center, it was mayhem. So that just tells you that it wasn't an election that took place on the 21st. Like I said, it's okay to lose fair and square. But when you recognize that the Labour Party, first and foremost, right from the get-go, we were out of the game because apparently we came to a gunfight with a penknife. So we did not have the resources to buy votes, the votes that were on offer. And by the way, Sean, even if we did have the resources, we would never have taken part in such perfidy. Secondly, you found out that the people themselves, no, just in conclusion, secondly, you find out that the people themselves were very willing, were in fact on the lookout for buyers for their votes. And were looking out for the highest bidder. So it was a willing buyer, willing seller scenario. So that for me is that's how I can describe the process to you. Vote buying, voter apathy, and then mayhem at the and chaos at the collation center. That is how we came about this particular outcome that you have alluded to.
You were an outsider on the outside bar when you ran for president. Very sometimes unusual. Just a few of you who have ever done that in the history of the Nigerian Bar Association. You became the very first man in the Nigerian bar in that sense. That's very unusual, and that was a very historical feat that you achieved. But getting into running for governorship of Edo State, that is another kettle of fish altogether. Are you politically shocked by what you met on the ground, your expectation, and what was the outcome?
Seun, Nigeria happens to you. So I'm old enough to understand my country. Nothing shocks me in Nigeria. Save for, let me say that I was slightly taken aback by the reaction of the people. When you have, like I've described it, the captors who are in love with the captives who are in love with their captors. So that one left me a little bit dumbfounded, let me say, because I did not expect that reaction from the people. We campaigned vigorously around the state, and I know, Seun, that the people, they really wanted to see change. But in the face of inducement of that magnitude, apparently they capitulated. But when you say outsider, Seun, let's put it this way. Each of us, the three, as they like to call us, leading candidates, came to the party or came to the table with our own fair share of negatives. The APC candidate would not speak to, or would not or could not speak to the populace. So the people were yearning to hear from him, but he was not available for them. He was a product of some serious infighting at the APC. The PDP candidate came to the table with his own baggage. First of which was the fact that the incumbent governor was more like an albatross for him. Of course, he also came as an outsider like me. So I failed to ascribe the outcome to any of these negatives that each of us bore into or carried into the process. No, if those were the only issues, I think the outcome or the results would have been different. Again, Akpata or Labour Party, I'm not saying we won the election. I am saying that there was no election, there was a transaction. So it's very difficult to now say, oh, who would have won or who would have lost.
Mr. Akpata,
300,000 votes by our estimation were bought by the two parties actively participating in that bazaar. Actively participating in that bazaar. That is enough to swing any election.
Yeah, there are those who will be asking, you were very confident that the average person was behind Olumide Akpata, that they resonated with your message. The Papa, Mama, Pikin, where were they?
Cheung, some stayed at home, but a large number came out and sold their votes. That's the point I'm making to you, Cheung. Cheung, you see, what happened was a tragedy. Let us remove focus from Olu Akpata and Labour Party and interrogate our electoral process. If voters in Edo State, and so let me tell you, members of my party sold their votes. So it's not just, it is something that we must look into closely. So Papa, Mama, Pikin, who were indeed, we were not sure of the process, but we're surer, or we had more confidence in the people. But the people decided to go for, freshly minted cash that was on offer. So for me, that was a lesson. That was a big lesson to learn. That if you think that you know the people, you have to think again and you have to look inwards. The level of deprivation, poverty in the land has made it such that the people are unable to connect the dots between their current situation and those who are the cause of their situation. I'm not making any excuses for the people. I understand, I empathize. However, the facts remain the facts. This is the scenario. So with the Papa, Mama, Pikin that we thought would come out and say enough, as they told us when we campaigned to them that enough is enough. Our mumu don't do. We not go grieve for them again. Well, when they came and they found that there was so much money on the table, every other consideration was out of the window. That is exactly what happened. And I would like us not to focus on me, Olu Akpata, or the Labour Party. Don't focus on us. It's easy to call us sore losers, or it's easy to call us naive. You can say that, but please focus on what happened on Saturday. Because it is an ill wind that will blow no one any good. Like somebody said today, we are superintending over the destruction of democracy in Nigeria. It is unfathomable that a country like this, like Nigeria, unfathomable that this kind of perfidy can take place in broad daylight in such a brazen manner. I think we should focus on that, Sean. More elections are coming. Ondo, Anambra, and I assure you that this is the playbook that will be applied in each of those in those elections.
I'm not sure you have seen Mr. Julius Abure's reaction when you were talking about his reaction to your comment on whether the votes were bought, because he accused that you of buying your ticket. He said, do not blame those who bought food because you also, according to him, that you bought a ticket. How do you respond to Mr. Abure?
I read it somewhere. I read this somewhere, and you know, I'm a lawyer. I'm very hesitant to respond to what I've heard, not from Abure himself. I dare him to say this to my face. Julius Abure will not say this to my face. So it's better I do not reply. You asked me on your program when I appeared once, did I buy votes? Did I buy delegates? And I told you categorically no. Well, if you say that I helped to build the party, I bought vehicles for the party when we had none, I bought chairs for the party at all wards when we had none, and that I bought public address systems for the party when we had none, that I would say, oh yes, I did, because the party needed this. I was there to build the party. And indeed, now that it has turned out that I have not emerged as governor-elect, I am still in the Labour Party because I am here to build the party. I was doing that while I was an aspirant. I did that as a candidate, and I will do it now as a former candidate. So if that is the accusation, I plead guilty very quickly that I was part of building Labour Party, making sure we had structures in Edo State. But if Julius Abure, if it is indeed correct that Julius Abure, who by the way is not in any position to speak about criminality, so let's avoid that, because I don't want to speak to words that have been ascribed to Abure when he is not in a position to confirm that this came from him. So I would rather walk away from that, if you don't mind.
Does it deter you in any way? Because it has a way of dampening people's morale when you lose, and you don't think that you have lost also fair and square. Would you ever want to run for Edo governor again?
Shehu, this is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Every time I came on your program, I'm sure I have said to you over and over again that we are here to fix Nigeria, fix the state, Edo State, to join hands with like-minded persons to ensure that we pull our country and my state out of the doldrums. So it will take more than one mishandled or one election that was a travesty to deter me. As you can see, I'm here in your studio speaking to you. I am ready to continue with this. I want to be able to tell my grandchildren what I did when Nigeria was at this very difficult time. What did I do? So it's going to take more than one election. We're in this for the long haul,
yeah. So you mean that you will run again?
You're not going to see the back of me very soon.
Interesting. And that. I said it means that you're probably going to do this again. It's reassuring. But let me ask you, in all of this, as a lawyer, of course, you know your rights under the law. When you run for a race like this, you know what your options are, legally speaking. Are you pursuing this election? Are you pursuing the outcome in court? Are you challenging the outcome of this election at all?
Well, I'm glad you have reminded the public that I'm a lawyer. So I have the benefit of seeing these things as an insider, a practitioner within the justice sector. So it is a decision that the Labour Party and I would have to take jointly, whether or not we will challenge the outcome of the elections. I am going to be meeting with my lawyers. The Labour Party will also be meeting with its lawyers, and then we will come to a decision whether or not we will be challenging the outcome of the elections. Just as doctors are not expected to treat themselves, lawyers should also be very cautious. So instinctively, I would have arrived at a decision whether or not to go on or to the tribunal or not, as an individual who is legally trained. But it's important for me to take a back seat on this one and allow my lawyers, based on the evidence that we have and the evidence that is still being collected, to make the determination on my behalf. Of course, I will be involved in that conversation. Of course, my 31 years as a lawyer will be of some benefit. When we analyze, my 31 years experience as a lawyer will come in handy as we analyze the issues. But that call has not been made yet.
I know in the coming days, focus will now be on governance and perhaps putting all the politics behind. Are you able to look beyond politics and work with whoever that has been, of course, we now know a governor-elect now that has been announced based on the result by INEC. Are you willing to be able, for the sake of Edo State and your people, to work with whoever who seeks your help and support?
Well, you know, in Nigeria, this is. I think it's probably only in Nigeria we keep on hearing this. Will you work with or work with? One very, very important plank of any democracy is the opposition. Opposition that is clear-minded, clear-sighted, opposition that is able to hold the feet of government to the fire. So rather than anybody ask me whether I will work with any the elected government of the APC, I think the question really should be shown: is the Labour Party ready to play its role as the opposition? Because it's important that we have credible and vibrant opposition in place, so that whichever government is elected, when we eventually get to November, and whoever is sworn in as governor, that person will know that there is a cloud of witnesses. There is a group of people who are definitely watching, who will call them out in the event that they step out of line. They run on a manifesto. We run on our own promises to the people. We are going to continue. I assure you, Shehu, you're going to see that I will remain in this space, ensuring that whichever government emerges in Osadebe Avenue will do good by the people if they have the wherewithal. If they are able to do it. I have my doubts. But we'll make sure that they do good by the people, and if they do not, we'll call them out.
Mr. Akpata, we're really out of time and we need to go. But even in 20 seconds, you may give me your final thought. And my question would be, if you say that this result is very far away from reality and things were unusual, perhaps in 20 seconds, can you tell us which areas did you think you could have won this election fair and square if this vote buying thing didn't happen? Just in 20 seconds.
Shehu, let's stop fixating on Olu Akpata and Labour. Shehu, please let us highlight the issues. Yaga Africa, by midday of election day, Yaga Africa already cried foul. In their final report, I'm sure you've read it. Let us find out what went wrong. How come political parties, the APC and PDP, could buy votes in such a brazen manner? Because I'm saying to you, I don't know exactly what you want me to say in 20 seconds. I'm saying to you that that process was completely flawed. Just by, firstly, the fact that vote buying took place at such a level, and then, of course, by the chaos that took place in the coalition center. So your guess is as good as mine what the outcome would have been if things had gone better. I'm not here to mention whether Labour Party would have won or not. I am saying that that level of vote buying totally negates from totally detracts from the process that occurred on Saturday. Elections did not take place. Is this the kind of democracy we want for our country? We have other elections coming up. We must go back to the drawing board and find out how we can stop this. This is a rape on democracy. It's not about Labour Party winning or Olu Akpata winning. It's about the Nigerian people winning. What happened on Saturday? If this continues, we have lost democracy.